Okay, so today we're talking about what might just be one of the biggest leaps in AI we have ever seen. I'm talking about Google's Gemini 1.5. And trust me, this isn't just another small update. This is a whole new ballgame for what artificial intelligence can actually do. Let's dive in. But real quick, before we get into the mind-blowing stuff, if you want to stay on top of the tech that's shaping our world, just take a second to hit that subscribe button for @BrandTechAuth. It really helps us make more deep dives like this one, and you are not going to want to miss what's coming up.
All right, let's just start with a pretty wild idea. Imagine an AI that could watch, say, a 3-hour movie, not just seeing it as a bunch of data, but actually getting the plot, remembering tiny details, and then pulling up one specific scene from a simple request. That is the absolutely massive scale we're talking about with Gemini 1.5.
Now, to really get why this is such a huge deal, you got to understand this one core thing that's been holding AI back for years. It's memory. For the longest time, even the most powerful models have had the memory of a goldfish, basically.
This slide right here just nails the difference. See, most AIs you've ever used are working with a memory that's like a single sticky note. They know what you just said, but the bigger picture, it's gone. Gemini 1.5 Pro is totally different. It's like giving that AI an entire library that it can reference instantly. We are literally moving from short-term recall to genuine long-form understanding.
So the technical name for this is the context window. And you can just think of it as the AI's short-term memory. It's all the information, whether it's text or video frames or audio clips, that the model can hold in its head at one time to figure out what you want. For years, engineers have been desperately trying to just make this window a little bit bigger.
And now, Google hasn't just made the window bigger. No. They have completely shattered all the old records. They've taken a 1,000,000 token leap forward. And there it is. This is the number that changes everything. 1,000,000 tokens. Now, tokens are basically the little building blocks of data for an AI, and hitting 1,000,000 of them in a single context window, well, that's the breakthrough that powers everything else we're about to talk about.
So what does 1,000,000 tokens actually look like in the real world? It is absolutely staggering. I mean, think about being able to analyze over 10 hours of video, or an entire 1,500-page book, or a massive software code base, or 100 hours of audio, all at once in a single go.
But hey, having a giant memory is pretty useless if you can't find what you're looking for, right? So, to prove it could, researchers put Gemini 1.5 through the ultimate memory challenge, something they call finding the needle in a haystack.
And the haystack for this test? Oh, just the entire 1,382-page epic novel, Les Miserables. That's a massive 732,000 tokens of dense, classic literature, all fed to the AI at one time. And the needle? It was just one famous, beautiful scene where the bishop gives Jean Valjean the silver candlesticks. It's a huge turning point in the story. So the researchers asked the AI to find this one specific moment inside that enormous book. And here it is. This is the part that is just absolutely mind-blowing. It found the scene, no problem. But the prompt wasn't the quote. It wasn't text at all. It was a simple, hand-drawn sketch of the scene. And that shows something really profound. This isn't just about text recall. This is cross-modal reasoning. The AI understood a picture and connected it to a specific passage in a document with over 700,000 other words. And this incredible skill isn't just for text. The research shows it found a secret phrase that was hidden on a single frame of a 10.5-hour documentary. It pinpointed specific words spoken inside hours and hours of audio. And in this crazy display of power, it even translated Calamang, a language with fewer than 200 speakers, using only a grammar book that was provided in the prompt. That's a task that's basically impossible without this massive context window.
Okay, so these tests are amazing. But what does this all actually mean for you? For professionals? For creators? Well, in short, this technology is designed to save you a truly staggering amount of time every single week. So in their study, Google asked professionals to submit complex, real-world tasks they do all the time. Things like a teacher planning a whole week of activities or a programmer trying to find a bug in their code. On average, they figured these tasks took them about 2.5 hours to do by themselves.
And this chart here shows what happened when they used an AI with these long context abilities to help out. The time savings are just huge, across the board. For really complex professional work in programming, data science, and even teaching, the model just slashed the time needed. We're talking about getting hours of your life back every week. And that, right there, is the fundamental shift.
This is not just a superpowered search engine, it's a true partner for complex analysis and creation. It can read your entire code base to find that one bug, analyze a 100-page financial report to find key trends, or go through hours of user interviews to summarize feedback. It just accelerates the hardest parts of our jobs.
Of course, a tool this powerful raises some really important questions, right? About the future and how we develop it responsibly.
The research paper goes into a lot of detail about their commitment to building this safely. And that includes internal red teaming, where they literally try to break the model to find its flaws. They bring in outside experts for safety evaluations and do all sorts of rigorous testing to make sure it's being developed responsibly from the very beginning.
So, when you boil it all down, what Gemini 1.5 really represents is a brand new chapter for AI. We're moving away from models that just give you a quick answer, toward models that can genuinely understand a huge and complex context, becoming real partners in our most challenging work.
And that just leaves us with one final massive question to think about. An AI with a perfect searchable memory of pretty much anything you give it is now a reality. So when a tool like that gets into the hands of scientists and artists and innovators, what problems are we going to solve? What will humanity achieve? It's a pretty exciting future to think about.